What's up, YouTube? Bobbles and Ball Cards back with another video. I hope everybody is having a good start to their week out there. It is Monday, December 6th. We are moving right along, getting closer to that big jolly fellow coming down all of the chimneys out there. Um, those of you that got on and hung out with me Saturday night, that was a long one, a lot of fun, and I just wanted to say thank you. Um, those of you that are new to the channel or have stumbled across this video, just like it says on the back, if you would like, hit that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and share it with your friends. It's been a while since I've actually recorded a video, but it is something I've said several times that I want to get back into doing. So as the year winds down and we go into 2022, it's something I'm going to attempt. I stay really busy, so it does get hard to do sometimes, but I'm going to work on it. So tonight's video is something that I want to talk about, not in a sense of, hey, I'm Bobbles, I know everything about this. I want to share some thoughts and opinions, which is pretty much what everybody out there on YouTube does anyway. Let's get real, none of us are like professional, sports card analysts or whatever the case may be. But it's a question that I want to discuss that has been brought up to me several times recently. That people, especially in my Facebook group, that see posts and pickups or watch videos of the channel and this and that, they know one thing that I really, really, really enjoy is vintage cards. And it's something, I'll be quite honest, it's not my main focus in sports cards. And if people think that, I apologize. I do have ultra modern cards. I do enjoy ultra modern cards to an extent. But there is, and I've said it before, there's a different feeling when you're able to get a iconic vintage card and own it and say it is yours. It's just something different about it. Maybe that's just me. If your thing is just ultra modern and you're going after a Lucas Silver Prism and that's your grail, it's going to have that same feeling for you. So, not judging anybody, we all collect differently. We all like different players, different sports, different decades, years, grading companies, Tops, Panini, Upper Deck. There's so many different things in this hobby, and we all can like it all equally, but be different at the same time. And if you notice on the screen, I have little flags over the grades on the cards, and that's something that a guy I enjoy watching. Those back pages he sometimes does. He's probably, well, it's not probably, he's been into vintage cards way longer than I have. To be honest with you, I have not been in vintage very long, and that's kind of why I just wanted to share my thoughts. This isn't to tell anybody specifically how to go about anything, because there's no right or wrong way. But also to just let everybody know, just because it's something I enjoy, I don't know everything about it. It's probably been, I would say, just maybe a year and a half since I really started getting into vintage cards. And that started when, I picked up the 53 Jackie. I was able to get, I'll show it in a minute, a Kareem, the Gretzky, etc. And it was like, wow. You get this and it's like, wow. I still remember leaving the Chantilly show October 2020 with Walter Payton, Kareem, and Jordan in my hand, and it was just like, this stunned feeling that I was leaving a card show with those three in my hand. I never would have expected that. And then once it became like I realized it was possible, it made me want to go after others and, set new goals and everything. And that's kind of what I want to talk about. So before I show the cards, I want to go over here and share a little slide that I made. So again, this is tips and suggestions. This is not telling you, hey, this is how you should do this. This is just my opinion and maybe some pointers that you could take from this, along with maybe somebody else that does vintage and loves vintage that could help you along the way as well. These are just some things that I feel if you are new or wanting to get into vintage, first I want to say if you're doing it as a flip, that's not really the game for vintage. Vintage is going to be more for a longer term hold, and it's something that you're going to want to like display or throw in a safe deposit box or something like that and enjoy it, protect it, if you have higher end stuff. So anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way. This isn't to tell anybody right or wrong how to do what. This is just some tips and suggestions based off of my opinion of what I think could help you. So anyway, number one, first and foremost, know your starting budget. You want to set a starting budget. Set a budget that you would like to begin with your vintage collection with to help you decide what path to proceed. Now, when I say to help you decide what path, if you only have a $100 budget, then you're obviously not going to go after a high-end Mickey Mantle or a Hank Aaron rookie or, any of the other big, iconic rookies. You're not going to go after that. You might be able to go after, a later year of Hank Aaron or a Willie Mays or something to that. So know what you want to start with. Do you have $100 you want to allocate to start building this collection? Do you have $1,000? Do you have 5, 10? Everybody has different budgets that they're capable of working with. And then once you have that set, then work on your path. And what I mean by that is decide whether do you want to collect a sport? Do you want to do just baseball? Do you want to do just basketball, football, hockey, vintage soccer? There's many different things out there. So do you want to do a specific sport? Do you want to do a particular player? As many of you know, I have been really working on, and it's a short run. And this is one reason that it benefits me. But another reason is I really love the story and respect of what he did for not only athletes but for the country, but Jackie Robinson. So I've worked on the Jackie Robinson run. And, obviously Jackie only has a few years where he had sports cards, so his run is really short. If you get into a guy like Mickey Mantle, his first rookie card was 51, and he has cards all the way to 1969. So you're looking at 18 years of trying to collect one of the, if not the most expensive, common vintage players out there. Obviously Wagner and those guys are more expensive, but so do you want to do a sport? Do you want to do a particular player? Are you a Yankee fan? Are you a Dodger fan? Are you a Braves fan? Do you want to do a specific team? Do you want to go Cowboys in football? Are you a 49er fan? Do you want to do the 49ers? You can go just team if you have a favorite team. Or do you want to do a mismatch? And that's kind of what I do. I do a little bit of anything and everything. I have certain things that I attempt to accomplish, like my Jackie Robinson run. But I also enjoy, I guess my main focus would be Hall of Fame rookie cards. That's something I really love. Um, Other than that, I would have to say just legendary players that I like. So that's number two. Number three, and I stress this one big: research, research, research. Ask questions. And I'm not just saying to me. There's plenty of blogs out there. There's groups. There's other people. Um, there's tons of knowledge out there. But research, ask questions, get on Google, start looking stuff up. Look up about the player, the team, sport, whatever you decide to collect. Research, learn about what cards they have, learn about oddities. Certain cards have different variations. I showed the Nolan Ryan and how it has actually 4 different ones: the regular, the Venezuelan, the Opeachy, and the Milton Bradley. And a lot of people don't know about the different ones. They think, oh, Nolan Ryan just has a Topps rookie. So go in there. There is so many different things. If you want to do T206, you're going to get yourself into like a prism type parallel run with all of the different backs and this and that. And players got like, some players have 4 different cards. There's so much history and everything to just dive into and start researching and learning about it. It is really, really, really fun. And again, just find details about specific cards, sets, and then also I suggest look at pricing. If you say, okay, I want to buy Mantle, but then again, you have that starting budget, you have to know what you're looking at as far as price range so you don't get discouraged. Or, as I put on here, sticker shock. If you think, well, Mantle was probably, I don't know, $7,500, and you go looking him up and he's $400, and you would set your starting initial budget at $100, you're gonna get upset fairly quickly. You're gonna be like, oh, I can't do this. Everything's so expensive, I can't afford it. So go look at prices. Don't get yourself discouraged. Number 4, once you have decided how you want to proceed in your collecting adventure, make a checklist. Now, when I say make a checklist, example, if you're doing a player-specific collection and you've done all your research like I just mentioned, make a checklist of the cards you'd like to obtain of that player. If you want to do the full run, great. Or maybe you like the photo from 52, 53, but you don't like 54. Make a checklist of cards you like, ones that you can obtain. If you only want to do Hall of Famers, print the Hall of Fame checklist. You can do either the rookie card list or just print a list of the players themselves. That way, you can target, this guy, this guy, this guy, and you know what is on your list and who to hunt for. This will keep you on track as well as allow you to see your progress, which then motivates you. Each time you're able to knock a player and you cross it off that list, it's going to get you excited. It's going to motivate you to, tell yourself, hey, I can do this. And then you're going to want to get to the next one. You're going to want to, see which one you can obtain next to cross another one off the list. So, all right, number 5, understand. And this is very, 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 very important. I've heard it recently, and honestly, I just wish people would understand this. I get there's people out there that are doing the investment, the market analysis, the data tools, all of that stuff. They're glued into it. They want to look at their phone. They want to go to 130 point. They want to look at eBay sales, and they want to do comps. Okay, I need to stress this more than anything, and that's why I have cards here on the table. Comps are not relevant in vintage necessarily. They are a good basis to see what a PSA or an SGC3 Hank Aaron sells for. They can give you an idea, but you cannot expect to get every 3 at that price. You could have a pretty large, wide margin of this 3 to this 3 in value. Simply based, how does it look, you know, PSA specifically, what labels? Is it an old label? Is it a new label? We see this a lot with the 86 Fleer Jordans. People want the new label Jordan. They don't want the old label because the old label, they graded them more lenient. So a 9 in an old label is like a 7 in a new label. And that's within the same slab. So you're going to have a variance in value. And comps aren't comps, okay? And what I mean by that is you can't just say, again, well, this 3 is $5,000. No. Not all 3s are $5,000. It doesn't work that way. That's another reason why I put these tabs on the slabs. Take away the focus of the label. Number 1, set your budget. Know what range you have to spend. Then attack from there. Go after the best looking card within your budget. Okay? So, again, on here, not all 1s are created equal. Not all 8s are created equal. You have to find a card that you love and that fits your budget. We would all love to own the highest grade of the greatest players, but you need to stay realistic and just have fun, or else you'll get discouraged and give up fast. So I've been hearing it with people, on YouTube or in chats or whatever, talking about comps and this and that, and people get too hung up on the grade of the slab. If you are truly trying to collect vintage, you're going to appreciate the best looking card no matter what grade is on that slab. I'm going to tell you, y'all have seen some of the stuff I buy. A lot of it is A's. A lot of it has been trimmed. A lot, the Willie Mays I had sitting there, it doesn't even have a border. Okay? I'm going to show you that card more in detail. And I know, well, it's trimmed, Bobbles. That's bad. The big thing with trimming is when they were being graded and actually getting a numerical grade and not caught as being trimmed. I have no problem owning a card that is designated as authentic, knowing it has been trimmed, but yet has great eye appeal. Because that gives me a card that looks really, really nice for my collection at a discount. That's something you got to understand. Trimming cards, it wasn't just this fraudulent thing that went on, and then sent to PSA, whatever, and they didn't catch it, or they knew about it and they slabbed it. Back in the day, people cut the cards to fit in albums, photo albums, or their wallet, or whatever. So some of this trimming happened back when the card came out of the pack. So that's something to think about there. But anyway, people just have to realize vintage is a different ball game, and comps are not comps. I'll tell you right off, a lot of your vintage dealers, especially at a show, they're going to go by Beckett or VCP. They go by vintage card pricing, and they go by Beckett. And part of the reason why is those guys, most of your vintage dealers, they have been dealers for a long time. They know their shit. They've been in this game for forever. And they know that Beckett pricing is show pricing. Now, it's probably changed today. I don't know if they still have people go out to the shows and update them on their values or how they get in their market values. So today's pricing might be a little bit off. But that's what they've built their business on. And most of them are older, and they're going to be set in their ways, and they have every right to, because these aren't just sports cards, they're pieces of history. So anyway, let's go to the next one. Share your collecting journey. It's an exciting feeling obtaining a card that you never thought you'd own. It's fun then to share it with your hobby friends. It also can allow you to motivate a friend to move forward and show them if you can get something, so can they. I have been posting my collection on Instagram. I've posted a lot of it, more of it in the Facebook group. I'm not doing this to brag or any of that. I get called out for not sharing financials and this sort of thing. So I thought, okay, I'll share my collection. I'll share what I actually have that I've held on to or things I've purchased. Um, you know, I don't make a large wage. I work in manufacturing. I build food machinery. And I have been able to accomplish what I've accomplished through selling cards, taking advantage of the boom when it happened. Hey, I'm not going to lie, that was a benefit, glorious benefit, but I had to have this stuff ahead of time to take advantage of that, which I was making plays without having to pay up on. It's something I'm going to be talking about in a future video I'm going to do, of how that actually benefited me more than maybe the next guy. But anyway, another reason I like to share this stuff is for people to see it and say, well, damn, if Bobbles can do that, I can too. Because I want to, more than anything, just help people through this channel, through the group, and make friends and motivate. It's not all a bragging game. It's not about the money. This is let's be realistic, it's a nerd's hobby. And we get nerdy when we talk cardboard. And I like to share it with my other nerd friends that appreciate it like I do. I like to share it, and I encourage you to share yours as well. And encourage people to motivate them so they can do it. That's what this is all about, guys. And then number 7 here, take your time. Enjoy the process. The research, the hunting, all of that, it can be enjoyable. It can be frustrating, but it can also be enjoyable. I will admit, sometimes it can be addictive to buy. Adding cards once you've started. And it's an awesome feeling obtaining cards. But don't overextend your budget. Stick to your plans and your goals. Let the checklist you made guide you and stay within your means. It's not a bad thing to enjoy a card you obtain for a bit before deciding to rush out and make another buy. So, we can get caught up in the buying game. Gotta buy. I've been giving the missus a little bit of crap because of Amazon. It's real easy to click add to cart, and then check out, and then boom, FedEx. It makes life is really easy, right? But sometimes we need to just enjoy what we got for a moment, and I'm guilty of this. I pick something up, and there might be something else I want, and I'll get FOMO really of well, damn, that's a good price. I should probably get that too, but then I have to tell myself sometimes, well, I just got this. I can wait. So anyway, I'm going to show y'all some of the stuff here. And this is more specific to just showing that you don't have to have the best grade because not all grades are equal. I'm going to start with this Yogi Berra. This card, may not be for everyone. It is from 1948, Bowman. Yogi Berra rookie, pretty nicely centered. Corners aren't too bad. It has a little bit of staining on it, but the colors in the stock of it is kind of a more brownish yellow color anyway, so it blends in. So I picked this up. It was a good value, but it got a 1. So this is a BVG 1, and looking at the front of this, you might say, well, why is it a 1, Bobbles? Why is this a 1? This is something I don't care for, but for display purposes and for the price it was, I went ahead and got it because like I said, I like buying the Hall of Fame rookies. It got a 1 because it's missing paper on the back. But when I have this in my display case, I can't see the back anyway, so goodbye there. And it is a 1. The Willie Mays, I'll go ahead and show this. Obviously, it's missing the borders, but I just want you to see. So what? It doesn't have the white borders. The photo on this card is just insane. This is an example of, you know, sure it's trimmed, sure it doesn't have the borders, sure it's only an A, but the cleanliness and clarity and the color on this maze is just incredible. Borders are optional. We have so many parallels today in Prism and all that stuff. I just look at them as a parallel. It's the borderless parallel. So yeah, that's the maze. Now, this mantle. I've showed this before, so those of the follow the channel, y'all know already. This card is like really well centered, you know, from a display distance. You really don't see anything wrong with it. Front, back, corners are nice. You know, really don't see anything, right? Might have just gave it away with the light, but it is a 2. A bargain. And it's a 2 because of that crease right up there in that corner. But at a display distance, you don't see it. Very nicely presentable card. It is a 2, but this is Mantle's last year. Has all of his stats on the back of the card. Was a hell of a value because it was in a 2. Now, this you look at, and this, you know, it's got some dingy corners down there, kind of a little crease at the bottom. You know, rounded corners are rounded, and you might say, well, that can't be as nice. Well, this actually is a 3. So that's what I'm saying. You know, this, if you look at these, everybody's going to want this. But in reality, when you look at them, a lot of people might actually want this because it looks better. So that's just something you have to look at when you're purchasing cards. You know, maybe people only want the grade and I'm different. I don't know. Here's my Hank that I bought last year. On this about a year now. If you hold it like this, it is an amazing card. It's just absolutely amazing. The color and everything is bright, clear, but of course the corners were cut off because it was in an album, so it's only an authentic. You know, again, I can put something down here to where you don't even see that. No big deal. Here's a Unitas rookie. I don't know if you can tell at all what is wrong with this. I will tell you. I got this as a steal. It had actually been sent in. It came back with a sizing problem. The guy had it in a one touch that it filled perfectly. And then I noticed that there's a pinhole in the top. This card at best, and I'll show you, I didn't get one, but this card at best would have graded a 1. So I bought it and just had it authenticated. Whether it's trimmed or not, I don't necessarily know. But again, with a pinhole, it automatically gets a 1. So I did not care. I bought the card at a steal and had it authenticated because the max grade it would get is a 1 anyway. Beautiful card. And then you look at this one, you know, dinged up corner there, bend, rounded corners, off-centered, right? And look at this. This is a 3. So here is a case where you have an A and a 3, and that A looks like a million times better all day. So it's just something to think about when you're buying. Here's one. You don't see many of these, period. This card actually has a cool story. It has that hole in it. That's actually where the Sport King, the logo is. It got hole punched, and if you see here, there's stamping. And it's because back in the day, they could take these cards and actually redeem them, whether it be for candy or a little prize or whatever. There's the logo on the backside, you can see. But it got stamped or hole punched, and then they stamped it with the date. Outside of that, the card is freaking amazing. Centered, it's got a little bit of rounded corners, but nothing too terrible. It's just amazing. And it's a 1. I'll take that all day. So, again, something you have to, look at. This Mammoth, I've showed this before. It is absolutely perfect. Sharp corners, bright color. I cannot find a single thing wrong with this. Maybe a little soft corner right there, but there's no creasing, no nothing. Bright colors. Okay, it is off-centered. I'm not going to deny that. It is off-centered as hell. But it's also a bargain at a 2. So there you have that. Kareem, again, this is a 2. Bright colors, sharp corners. This has a little bit of, soft corners down there. It's off-centered as well. The color isn't quite as bright on Kareem. But the Kareem is a 3. So really, if you compare color and everything, this one is off-centered. This one has worse corners. I think this has a crease in it somewhere too. If I can, I thought this had a crease, a small one. I can't find it now. Maybe at the top. But anyway, between a 2 and a 3, And then here is Topps Gretzky. Overall, it's not perfect. It has some little whitening on it. You can see a little bit of whitening, soft corners. Again, display distance. Card displays very well. It's really well centered. Got the back, clean back. And it was a bargain in a 4.5. So, always look at the cards. Don't just judge the number on the slab. You can find deals to fit your budget. You can find grails that you would love to own within your budget. But it goes back to a saying when we talk about PSA, BGS, SGC, all these grading companies. When folks say buy the card, in vintage, that has never resonated higher. You want to own the card. When you're buying a Willie Mays rookie, you're buying that because of Willie Mays. You're not buying it because it's PSA or SGC. As a collector, I love owning Hank Aaron, Jackie Robinson, Willie Mays, Yogi Berra, and Mickey Mantle. I just showed y'all SGC, BBG, and PSA. Okay? I don't just sit here and say that to say it. I truly mean it. If you want to own these cards, set aside the differences of the slab, set aside the grading on it, look at the card itself, and tell yourself, does this look good? If the answer is yes, and it's in your budget, and it is a card on your checklist, go after it. You will not regret it. So, I hope this helps everybody. It's a little longer than I wanted, but like I said, there's been several people come out and ask me about vintage and everything, and showing interest in collecting vintage. So I wanted to put this out to maybe help people. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Let me know down below your thoughts. Please hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and share it around if you know anybody else that it could be helpful to. But anyway, that is all I have for you today. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, and until the next video, I'm out.